To me, I think what makes it work is, I know.
Is that you're so freaking hot?
No, is being able to do scenes with him and being in it with him. I mean.
Hollywood is mourning the loss of Brittany Murphy this morning. The 32-year-old actress died on Sunday from what officials say appear to be natural causes. An autopsy is planned, reportedly against the wishes of her husband. CBS News correspondent John Blackstone has this report.
Someone passes away with cyanide in their body. It looks like they passed away from pneumonia. And there's two people that are close to Diddy that passed away from pneumonia. The first one being Brittany Murphy. At the time, Brittany Murphy was dating Ashton Kutcher.
Something about Brittany Murphy's tragic death has always felt off, and with new tapes surfacing, the mystery is only deepening. These tapes are pointing fingers at unexpected connections, with Diddy and Ashton Kutcher suddenly caught in the spotlight. Could their involvement shed new light on the circumstances surrounding her untimely passing? Let's unpack this tangled web. Brittany Murphy was a beloved star in the early 2000s, gracing the big screen in hits like Clueless, 8 Mile, and Just Married. But her bright career came to a sudden and shocking end in December 2009. Brittany, only 32 years old, was found dead in her Hollywood Hills home. Official reports cited pneumonia, anemia, and drug intoxication as the causes, a combination that seemed strange but plausible at the time. Months later, her husband, Simon Monjack, died in eerily similar circumstances, pneumonia and acute anemia. The parallels between their deaths left fans and investigators alike wondering, was this truly a coincidence? Or was there something far more sinister at play? Brittany and Simon's lives had ties to some of Hollywood's most influential figures, including Diddy and Ashton Kutcher. While these connections may have seemed innocuous at first glance, recent revelations suggest otherwise. Ashton Kutcher, Brittany's former romantic partner, remained a close friend of hers over the years. Meanwhile, Diddy's name has become synonymous with Hollywood's dark underbelly, given the mounting allegations surrounding his infamous parties and connections. Now, tapes and witness accounts place both Ashton and Diddy in proximity to Brittany shortly before her death. The timing of these revelations has people asking, what role, if any, did they play in the events leading up to her tragic passing? The situation gets even murkier when you consider the eerie similarities between Brittany Murphy's death and that of Diddy's ex, Kim Porter. Both women were ruled as victims of pneumonia, both passed away at shockingly young ages, and both were connected to the same circles of influence. Kim Porter's untimely death at age 47 raised similar questions about the circumstances surrounding her passing. Could there be a connection between these two cases? A documentary released years after Brittany's death began to peel back the layers, pointing to a pattern that's hard to ignore. Reports allege that Brittany's final days were marked by unusual behavior and troubling interactions. The tapes in question seem to suggest that Diddy might have been involved in something far more sinister than anyone realized. Combined with Ashton Kutcher's proximity to the actress during this time, these connections are now raising more questions than answers. The resurfacing of these tapes has sparked fresh speculation that Brittany Murphy's death may not have been as straightforward as initially believed. With the mounting allegations surrounding Diddy's infamous lifestyle and Ashton's controversial past, fans and investigators alike are beginning to connect the dots. Could Brittany's death, along with Kim Porter's, be part of a larger, more sinister narrative? And if so, how deep does this web go? As new details continue to emerge, the world is left wondering what really happened to Brittany Murphy.
Wedding night, would you wear anything like this?
Not exactly this dress, but I think the line is very nice, and I would wear something probably that, I don't know, just but don't come by that.
But wait, it gets even more unsettling. Diddy's name has come up in other mysterious deaths, including the notorious deaths of Tupac Shakur and Biggie Smalls. There have also been allegations about Diddy's involvement in some very questionable activities, like the infamous freak-off parties, where allegedly women and men were brought in and mistreated.
I'm really concerned that there is way too much medication in your residence, and I own the pharmacy.
In these tapes, witnesses claim that Diddy may have had a hand in silencing people who could expose him. Is it possible that Brittany, with her increasing knowledge of the Hollywood elite, found herself caught up in Diddy's web of darkness? And could this be why she ended up dead at such a young age? So now, let's break down the timeline and some of the bizarre events surrounding Britney's death. After Britney passed, the investigation took an even stranger turn. For one, Simon Monjack.
Different forms of natural disease. He had significant heart disease. He had significant liver disease. There was also evidence of neurological disease and a whole series of other diseases as well. He was also epileptic.
The coroner's report, when it finally came out, was a bit weird. They listed the cause of death as pneumonia and anemia, but there was also a mention of multiple substance intoxication as a contributing factor. But what substances? That was never made clear, and let's be real, there was a lot of speculation about what could have actually been going on.
The type of methamphetamine found in Britney's system is not from the streets, it's from an asthmatic's puffer. It only opens up the air passages. So Britney has not been taking any illegal drugs.
Simon Monjack, in his defense, went on People magazine and insisted that Britney had only been taking herbal remedies for her heart and some cold medicine. However, many didn't buy his explanation. The timing of her sudden death, combined with her struggles in the weeks leading up to it, just didn't add up. And get this, Britney's husband Simon Monjack wasn't just a guy she met later in life. He was significantly older than her. In fact, they met when Britney was just 17 years old. That alone might make you raise an eyebrow, right? But hold up, because the story doesn't stop there. The more you dig into Simon's past, the darker it gets. There were all sorts of rumors floating around about his sketchy background. People started to question whether there was more to this whole situation than just a tragic accident. But here's where it gets even stranger. Inside sources claimed that the coroner refused to give any more details about the substances involved. This added fuel to the fire. People started questioning whether Britney was possibly poisoned. Could it have been intentional? As if the autopsy findings weren't already confusing enough, more details about the house Britney lived in came to light. Apparently, there were reports of toxic mold in the Hollywood Hills home where Britney and Simon lived. According to both Simon and Sharon Murphy, Britney's mother, toxic mold could have played a role in her death. However, things get more suspicious when you learn that investigators actually requested a mold test after Britney's death. But guess what? Both Simon and Sharon blocked the test from being carried out. A few years after the autopsy was released, Britney's father, Angelo Bertolotti, didn't give up. He took matters into his own hands and hired a private lab to run tests on Britney's hair. And when the results came back, they were shocking. The lab found dangerously high levels of heavy metals in Britney's hair, levels that were way beyond what's considered normal. These are the same types of metals found in rat poison or insecticides. So now we're talking about something serious, something intentional. Angelo Bertolotti, understandably, was furious. He publicly stated that he believed his daughter was unalived. And here's the real kicker. Why didn't the original autopsy catch this? Experts explained that the coroner's office wouldn't have tested for heavy metals unless poisoning was specifically suspected. So why didn't they look for it in the first place? When Britney and Ashton were dating, there was a whole lot of speculation going on. Rumors were flying that they were secretly engaged because they were spotted wearing matching rings. But of course, no one ever confirmed it. Their relationship, though, was short-lived, just 5 months, and it ended on a pretty messy note. Word on the street is that Ashton was cheating on Britney. And who was the woman he was seeing behind Britney's back? None other than Demi Moore, another rumored guest at Diddy's infamous parties. But hold up, it gets even weirder. The timing of everything was way too perfect. Right after Britney and Ashton broke up, Ashton and Demi went public with their relationship, which left everyone scratching their heads. Fans and insiders alike couldn't help but wonder,